Okay, good afternoon. I'm Philip Ammerman. Thank you very much for inviting me, and congratulations on the new website on Paphos City. I think it's a great initiative which is very much needed, both for the tourism market and also for the residents of Paphos. Today I'm talking a little bit about how I perceive Paphos and its economic potential. I believe that conditions are improving despite the fallout of the Cyprus financial crisis and the wider international economic crisis. We see some very interesting signals of economic recovery. One of the primary ones is the fact that tourist arrivals in Cyprus and in Paphos in particular have been rising. 2015 was a record year for arrivals. Some 2.6 million tourists arrived. And tourism expenditure was approximately 2.2 billion euro, which is nearly the highest level it's ever been in Cyprus's history. We can confirm this through arrivals at Paphos International Airport, which have seen roughly a 9% increase. What's also very encouraging is the number of airlines which have been setting up in Paphos, either as a permanent base or serving Paphos in the summertime. In addition to the big airlines like Aegean, EasyJet or Ryanair, we have a number of other charter airlines or airlines operated by tour operators like Thomas Cook, TUI, Thomson, which I think are increasing flights and increasing scheduled arrivals as well in Paphos. So these are all very, very positive, and I think that there will be a very immediate follow-on effect in terms of hotel reservations and also demand for villa rentals and apartment rentals. Some of the other points which are very encouraging are the fact that 2017 is the Paphos Capital of Culture. This is an annual event, so the entire year we'll have cultural events going on. These have already started, by the way, so there's already a very interesting schedule of activities for 2016. And in addition to the cultural Capital of Europe, there are quite a few other events which have been set up, such as the Paphos Marathon and the Paphos Orchestra, the Paphos Opera, which occurs every September. So we see that there's a good deal of investment in activities and events which are going to bring in a lot of international interest, but also a lot of interest from the rest of Cyprus. Besides this, we see that property investment is picking up. The decline in residential property prices appears to be stabilizing, so the decreases in prices in 2015 were very limited, in general less than 0.5%. There's also been an uptick in the number of new properties being purchased. This is due not just to domestic demand, which I think is very interesting because Cypriots are now receiving mortgages from Cypriot banks in order to buy or to renovate property. But there's also a good deal of investment going on from foreign investors who are investing either in the residency, in other words, they get a visa for residency investments, or the citizenship investments, which does occur primarily at this time through investments in property. And there have been a large number of transactions which have taken place. And again, this is providing a boost to property, not just purchases, but also renovations. Finally, there are a wide number of other signals that we're seeing. We see, for instance, that hotel occupancies are up, hotel prices have been rising. There's a large stock of properties now on Airbnb and on Booking.com for holiday rentals. This is something which is relatively new in Cyprus and is increasing quite rapidly. We see that, for instance, Paphos is becoming a golf destination. There are 4 golf courses here. We see that in 2015 there was a record number of golf rounds played by non-residents. And again, this is the highest number of golf rounds played, which means there is a substantial increase in interest to the extent that in the summertime it's now very difficult to actually schedule a round of golf, which again means that capacity essentially is being met. There's no further capacity. So I think if we take all of these points together, the Paphos Capital of Culture, the increasing tourist arrivals, the fact that property prices, the decline is stabilizing, that there's a higher number of transactions, I think we see the leading signals of an economic turnaround, at least in the region. There are, of course, a number of external threats. There is the conflict in Syria. There are potential currency movements with the British pound due to Brexit, the threat of British exit from the EU. These, of course, will never go away. I think there's always going to be external threats. But what's very positive is that for the first time since 2010 or so, when the global financial crisis started from 2008 onward, I think we see that there's a return to growth, which is not just growth as a bubble or growth of speculation, but I believe we're hitting growth which is a lot more based in reality and hopefully will be a lot more sustainable. Having said that, I have been coming to Paphos for quite a few years now, since 1999. I'm amazed at the changes which have taken place. There's some great hotels going up. There are some, the harbor and the coastal walkway are simply very, very nice places to spend time in. So I'm quite optimistic that things will recover. Thank you.